Hey there, this is Dr. Jay Burns for another episode of Laser Guru. I'm coming to you as always from Dallas, Texas at my office at Resurrect Skin MD. If you live in the area, we'd love to see you. But if not, this goes out to my colleagues and patients who want to learn more about the science of this. I try to make it where everyone can understand. But I will use some technology for my colleagues and some terminology for my colleagues that might help them understand some of the technology that's out there. So today there's a new exciting technology on the market that's come out by Cyton. They're on a roll. They've come out with the Heroic, the Moxie, a lot of these stacked treatments, and they've got several devices that are very effective for making the skin look wonderful. But they've come out with one that I really am excited about. It's called the TriBrid for 3 wavelengths in one, TriBrid technology. And so it takes all of the advantages of the Halo and all of the advantages of the Moxie, and it combines them into one laser. And it fires, which is crazy, at the same time. So if you're one of my colleagues and you say, well, hey, I've got the Halo and I've got the Moxie, that's great, and it may be a while before you need it. But on the other hand, I jumped on it right away because of this, because it's not really your mama's Halo or your mama's Moxie. It is a new, totally, amped up Halo that's much more powerful, and the Moxie is much more powerful. So I want you to think about something. You can either, the Moxie's twice as powerful, the Halo is much more powerful than the old Halo. So if you use the same levels, because we know Halo and Moxie are very effective, but if you have a more powerful laser, it does 2 things potentially. If you use the settings that you're comfortable with, you can go at least twice as fast. We did a lady yesterday where she got the Halo and the Moxie delivered at the same time, eliminating 2 different treatments. You can get all the treatment in one, and we delivered that in 20 to 25 minutes. Normally that would have been 2 to 3 times longer than that. So it's better for the patient. It's actually better for your clinic. You can move more patients through your clinic. You can get more patients done in a day, and for the patient, they can be in and out in half the time. The other thing you can do is you can actually increase the energy, and if the patient wants to have more bang for their buck and they don't mind a little more downtime, it's not extensive, but a little more downtime, then you can turn up the energy, and you can still go faster, but you can get a lot more effectiveness with one treatment. The Moxie is a 1927 thulium wavelength, and that actually historically at 20 joules of energy, which is the old Moxie was, that would take off the epidermis, maybe touch the upper dermis, but not much. When you increase the energy significantly to 30 or even 40 joules, you can really go after that pigment really well, and you can go into the dermis. So when you go into the dermis, you'll get all of that interface between the epidermis and the dermis is where the pigment lives. So if you can go all the way through that, you really get a much better bang for your buck on dyschromia, brown spots, and that kind of pigment. But when you injure the dermis more, you're causing more collagen to be delivered. So it's a more powerful treatment. And the Halo being more effective can be more effective, and in terms of the power, and again, it just is a more dense concentration of that energy to target the water. And then you've got the erbium in there, which causes, again, you can go for anywhere from 5 microns to 100 microns, and remove that epidermis, and all of the advantages of the Halo. When you have an ablative over a non-ablative, it's been proven in many studies that there's a faster healing. There's a secondary effect of causing stimulation through intermediary proteins, MMPs, laminin Y, that go into the dermis and stimulate new collagen. So you've got 3 different wavelengths stimulating new collagen growth, and you've got an erbium and a thulium that are not hitting the same area. So you've got a denser treatment that are removing that epidermis and that old dead and sun-damaged skin. And so you get a healthier dermis, new collagen, and a thicker epidermis, and just healthier looking skin, and you can get it all done in one. You've heard about these Cyton stacked treatments. Well, welcome to the new world. You've got a stacked treatment that's faster and more effective, all in one treatment. And so the TriBrid is a great device. A lot of times I do a lot of resurfacing for these lines on the mouth, but you might not have to be as aggressive on the rest of the face. You can do all of this TriBrid treatment under topical anesthesia. You don't need any injections or any of that. So I could come in and do some injections and do the mouth lines, and then as long as you're going to be down with that kind of downtime, you could do a very aggressive TriBrid, which would be a lot easier than doing, full face resurfacing. And so it's just a great combination that I'm using more and more, and I think you're going to see it a lot. So I'm very high on the TriBrid. If you own Cyton lasers, you'll know those technologies, and combining it. Is it as good as it sounds? It's absolutely as good as it sounds. It's fantastic. If you're not a user of Cyton, they're not the cheapest lasers in town, but they're the best lasers in town. And I have all of mine, and they still work 20 years into it. And so they're just a phenomenal device, and they're a phenomenal group of people to work with right now. So that's why I work with them. If they mess up and they change their personnel, which I can't imagine they do, then I'll go on to whatever is the best. But right now, they're really great, and they come out with amazing technologies, and TriBrid is just the last one that they've come out with recently, and I think you're going to hear a lot more about it. So hope you've enjoyed this segment of Laser Guru. I hope that helps. Let us know other topics you want to talk about, and I've given you a way to do that. You can call our office at 219-754-6865. We're happy to talk about anything. We love a good interchange of ideas. We don't have to get mad at each other if we disagree, but it's great to hear all sides, and I'm happy to entertain any comments or questions that are confusing to you. I'm here for clarity of communication. I get nothing out of this other than trying to help my colleagues buy the best technology so that they can produce great results in our patients and have a successful business. There's nothing wrong with both of those happening, and we're doing that here at Resurrect Skin MD, and I want you to be able to do it wherever you're listening to this message. So have a great day, and I'll see you on the next Laser Guru.